At Hickory Recovery Network, we are dedicated to being a national leader in the treatment of substance use and co-occurring mental health disorders. Our mission is to provide compassionate, structured, and evidence-based care through our expanding network. Now in Texas, Hickory Treatment Center at Longview offers a comprehensive residential treatment program designed to help individuals build a foundation for lasting recovery. If you or a loved one needs help, call Hickory's 24/7 admissions team or visit hickorytreatmentcenters.com today.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's pre-diabetes. From your local news authority, local in-depth community. You're watching KFDX 3 News at 6, home of Super Bowl 60 and the 2026 Winter Olympics.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Carney Porter. Aaron has the day off. Two former Wichita Falls police officers are currently the subject of a criminal investigation stemming from allegations regarding their conduct and treatment of a woman they arrested last year. Police and city officials held a press conference to address the situation this morning. Josh Hoggard was there for it, and he's joining us now with more. So, Josh, what can you tell us?
Well, Carney, officials didn't offer any details about the incident in question. However, a check of court documents and jail records helped us connect the dots. Since the press conference, we've learned that the incident occurred on August 26th of last year at the McDonald's located on Holiday Road, when a woman refused to leave the restaurant, leading officers to, quote, drag her out. Ultimately, it led to the arrest of 21-year-old Victoria Lang on charges of resisting arrest and interfering with public duties, the second of which has since been dropped. It has also led to an uproar on social media, with community members sounding off about the situation, prompting both today's press conference and a criminal investigation from the Texas Rangers. The arrest and alleged treatment of 21-year-old Victoria Lang has caused a stir on social media, leading the chief of police to publicly address the situation.
On behalf of all the Wichita Falls Police Department, I'm sorry for what Miss Lang experienced.
WFPD Police Chief Manuel Borrego says they received a phone call from Lang's mother, but not about what happened out in the field, leading the department to access and review the body-worn camera footage from August 26, 2025, inside that McDonald's.
The conduct shown in this video represents a failure of our department to meet the standards we owe the public.
With Chief Borrego launching a full internal investigation into the two responding officers, Daniel Wilson and Douglas Gully, as well as their conduct and treatment of Lang that day.
Both officers were ultimately pulled from the street, and Mr. Wilson was terminated from employment in November. And following his suspension, Mr. Gully has turned in his resignation.
Now, those two former officers are under investigation and could be facing criminal charges.
All documentation allowed by law was turned over to the Texas Rangers for independent investigation. That includes all body-worn camera footage and supporting documentation.
And the chief is now reviewing the department's policy as a whole, hoping to implement new training in multiple areas, responding to mental health crises, de-escalation training, arrest and control techniques, constitutional law and arrest criteria, and authority versus necessity to arrest, leading to plenty of questions as to how those relate to this current situation.
I'm not going to get into speculate her mental health at the time. That's all under investigation right now.
To that end, Chief Borrego said further details won't be released while this investigation is underway.
We are continuing to fully cooperate with the Texas Rangers, and at their request, we are limited what we can say and release until the investigation is completed.
But he says he plans to make the body cam footage public eventually.
The arrest of Miss Lang and her subsequent treatment is shocking to see. And when the Texas Rangers complete their criminal investigation of the former police officers, and we're allowed to release the video, I know people will be just as angry as we were when what we witnessed.
All of this with one goal in mind.
I want to talk about us moving forward. Our responsibility is to face what occurred honestly, hold ourselves accountable as an organization, and ensure that our policies, training, and supervision reflect the full scope of this incident.
Now, Chief Borrego said he couldn't comment on the current status of the investigation or how long he thought it would take. So we'll be sure to pass on any updates to you as soon as they're available. And of course, if you missed the press conference, you can watch a replay of it in full over on our website, TexasHomespage.com.
All right, Josh, thank you so much for that breakdown. We appreciate it so much. Well, 72-year-old Henrietta man is dead following a single vehicle crash in Clay County. The wreck happened just before 5:30 this morning, about 4 miles south of Jolly. DPS Sergeant Juan Gutierrez says a truck driven by Samuel Litteken was traveling south on FM 2393. Investigators say Litteken failed to stay in a single lane, went off the road to the right, and then overcorrected to the left. Sergeant Gutierrez says Litteken's truck went into a side skid off the road, rolled, and then hit a fence. Litteken was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene from his injuries. A man with multiple active warrants is in jail this evening, facing 2 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. James Hawley is charged with terroristic threat, criminal trespass, forgery financial instrument, evading, and possession of a controlled substance in a drug-free zone. It all started back on December 17th when Electra police found Hawley in the 500 block of North Main Street. Officers say they were aware Hawley was wanted on several outstanding warrants in Wichita County, and when police tried to make contact, they say Hawley took off on foot. Police say they began a search with the Wichita County Sheriff's Office and DPS, but Hawley was not found at that time. Then, late Tuesday night, officers again found Hawley, and during that encounter, police say a taser was deployed, but Hawley evaded apprehension. And late last night, additional officers were assigned to locate Hawley. Police say a plainclothes officers walking the streets encountered Hawley in the 800 block of North Illinois Street. The officer says when he got close enough, he identified himself and ordered Hawley to the ground. Once he was placed in custody, police searched him and found a gray sock containing a glass pipe, as well as a clear plastic baggie with a crystal-like substance, which field tested positive for methamphetamine. Hawley remains jailed this evening on bonds totaling $40,000. Nurses and other staff members from Wilbarger General Hospital are speaking out over frustrations regarding the board's decision to not offer the interim CEO the permanent position. Wilbarger General Hospital officials held a board meeting this morning, and our seasonal intern, Edison Stewart, was in attendance. And Edison, these staff members weren't holding back today.
That's right, Carney. Concerns over leadership stability and transparency at Wilbarger General Hospital spilled outside the boardroom today as staff members and community's voices continued speaking even after the meeting moved behind closed doors. Wilbarger General Hospital has faced years of leadership turnover, leaving staff and community members uncertain about the hospital's future. During the board's public comment period, hospital staff addressed leadership concerns and called for accountability after interim CEO Tanya Price was denied the permanent position by the board.
I feel like if we lose her, I don't know what's going to happen in the next year or two.
Once the meeting moved into closed executive session, multiple nurses and hospital staff repeated their prepared remarks outside the meeting room. Security later asked media and staff to leave the building. Off hospital property, staff members continued sharing prepared statements and reading posts they say reflect ongoing concerns within the hospital.
A leader is visible, accountable, and willing to make difficult decisions while remaining grounded in the values of the organization and the people it serves.
Emergency Department Director Adrian Simmons spoke outside the building on behalf of multiple hospital directors and staff members. Staff say Price helped stabilize the hospital during a period of uncertainty.
We respectfully request that Tanya Price be given a meaningful opportunity to demonstrate her readiness to continue serving as Chief Executive Officer.
Hospital employee Michael Navarro also spoke outside the building, reading aloud a Facebook post in which he described what he sees as ongoing instability within hospital leadership, citing frequent executive turnover and lack of transparency.
Post said, "We all know Wilbarger General Hospital has endured significant turmoil over the past several years. Staff and community members alike have been left fearful and uncertain about the future of our hospital."
Price confirmed she applied for the permanent CEO position, but was denied after being told she did not meet qualifications requirements. She said she received limited communication about the decision.
There wasn't one explanation, just that we were going with a different candidate due to their qualifications.
So there was no clear communication on why you were not selected, is that correct?
Correct.
Price Price said she was disheartened by the outcome, but emphasized her continued support for hospital staff.
So it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. So yeah, I was heartbroken when I wasn't offered to go to the next round of interviews, but I understand the board has a job to do, so I will support their decision and always be a fan of WGH, and the employees know I'm always here for them and a resource.
When asked for comment, the vice chair of the hospital board said the board is actively searching for CEO candidates, but declined to comment further on personal matters.
All I can tell you is that we are actively in a CEO search. But other than that, I can't make any other comment at this time.
The board also stated when a hiring decision is made, staff will be the first to know. This is still a developing story, so stay with KFDX as we get more details in the following weeks. For more information, visit our website at TexHomelessHomepage.com.
Hopefully everything can be resolved soon and somebody will be picked that everyone will like. All right, Edison, thank you so much for that story. All right, let's go ahead now and check in with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling for a look outside. And Michael, it was quite the windy day today.
Yeah, we had a front that moved through, brought in some really strong winds. Not a whole lot of cold air, but another front's on the way. It's going to bring in that cold air. We'll talk more about that later on. Satellite radar across the area is pretty clear for us. Cloud cover is pretty thick, actually, further down to the southeast across the DFW Metroplex area, but we have a lot of sunshine here as we've gone throughout this afternoon. Current temperature is 69 degrees in Wichita Falls, 71 for Dallas, Fort Worth, 72 in Austin, down to 48 though up in the Panhandle for Amarillo. We are a little bit cooler than we were this time yesterday. Not a big change. This afternoon was a few degrees cooler. Right now we're just 1 degree colder than we were 24 hours ago. So the wind is starting to calm down though as we go into tonight, but that next cold front arrives tomorrow, and that makes it much cooler here for the weekend. We'll talk all about that coming up here in a few minutes, Cardi.
All right, we'll see you then, Michael. Thanks so much. Last month, we got a sneak peek into WFISD's major overhaul project to convert McNeil Middle School into McNeil Elementary School. Curtis Jackson checked back in with Superintendent Dr. Donnie Lee to see how much progress has been made on this $14 million project. So, Curtis, how are things looking?
Yeah, well, I actually thought I was lost at one point while Dr. Lee and I were walking through the school, only to find out I was in some of the same rooms I was in a month ago. And Carney, they look completely different, showing that major progress is being made with everything right on schedule.
It's out with the old. Of course, all these lockers, elementary students won't need those, so we're in the process of tearing all them out.
And in with the new.
We're opening up all this space and going to open this up with a glass concept. So as parents and community members come in, it's more welcoming and inviting, instead of that dark concept, almost institutionalized.
In just 30 days since I last visited the McNeil Elementary construction project, some serious progress has been made.
What we're doing is completely transforming a McNeil Middle School into a vibrant hub concept elementary school. And it will merge parts of 3 different elementaries, that of Jefferson Elementary, some of West, and some of Fowler.
And once the plumbing, the framing, a ton of electrical and HVAC are complete, they'll move on to the next phase of the project.
And that will also include getting 2 new playgrounds as well. Okay. So the younger kiddos, kinder, they'll be able to go right outside their wing over here. This area over here where you see the trucks and such, they'll come out of the door to the left. This will be all fenced in, and there'll be a new playground right there. And then where we parked over here at the entry to the right, there'll be another playground over there.
As well as a facelift for the gymnasium that already exists.
We'll remural some of it because depending on the new mascot, it won't be the Mustangs anymore. So you could see a lot just painted, resanded floor, things of that nature.
And you might be wondering why an elementary needs an athletic gym. Dr. Lee says they don't necessarily, but they might as well utilize it since it's already there.
We're talking in the initial concepts and concept and plans of having an indoor recess space, because you have at Wichita Falls, you have very cold winters where kids can't go outside and play. And then you, of course, have the very hot summers where the playground equipment is too hot. So we're looking at some different designs for indoor playgrounds, and we've got some spectacular space for that.
And while there's still a ton of work left to do, Dr. Lee says they're still right on schedule to open for the 2026 school year. Now, I'll be checking in with Dr. Lee again next month, for a month from now, and we'll continue to bring you progress reports on how things are looking each month leading up until they're ready for the doors to open.
Well, it shows what can really get done in a month's time. So we're looking forward to seeing even more progress next month. All right, Curtis, thank you so much for that update tonight. Well, Hershey Middle School is celebrating a growth of 1.39% in academic performance. Both 6th and 8th grades achieved above average scores in English and language arts, math, and science, while 7th grade excelled in English and language arts and science, reaching nearly average scores in math. Data shows that 6th graders lead the way with strong performance metrics, scoring above average in English and language arts, math, and science. Similarly, 8th graders demonstrated commendable results across these subjects, underscoring their effective preparation for high school. 7th graders achieved above average marks in English and language arts and science and fell short above the average in math with a close performance rate of 98%. This performance underscores the curriculum's focus on foundational skills. Dr. Lee says this speaks volumes about the staff and students' dedication to learning.
Since August to December, our students are averaging 1.38 years of growth. So it's a tremendous amount of academic improvement, and that's across math, English language arts, science, and social studies.
Dr. Lee says with the way things are going, they expect the academic growth to be at 2 years of growth in just a 1-year period of time. These district improvements lead us to tonight's question. Which aspect of our community do you believe is the most critical for future improvement and development? Is it local business growth, quality of life, education and workforce, or public perception? Well, to vote for your option and your choice, all you have to do is scan the QR code right there on your screen, or you can click the link over on our Facebook post. We'll make sure to have those results for you at the end of the show. Sunglasses with adjustable tint and a lollipop that plays music in your head. Coming up, Rich DeMiro shows us even more unique gadgets from CES 2026 in Las Vegas. And President Trump says the U.S. will be calling the shots in Venezuela for the next few years, or possibly longer. We'll have more on that a little later in the newscast.
U.S. movement on the world stage. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. President Trump ordering the U.S. to withdraw from 66 international organizations, including the UN's Population Agency and several UN agencies focusing on climate. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying in a statement, quote, "We will not continue expending resources, diplomatic capital, and the legitimizing weight of our participation in institutions that are irrelevant to or in conflict with our interests." Now, it comes amid U.S. military action in the Caribbean and questions about the president's plans moving forward. Americans are divided on how active the U.S. should be in global affairs, according to a recent Pew Research Center poll. Just 39% of adults under 30 saying it's extremely or very important for the country to have an active role. However, 73% of those 65 and older feel it's important. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
At Hickory Treatment Center in Longview, we provide compassionate, evidence-based care for substance use and co-occurring mental health disorders. We offer residential treatment to help individuals build a foundation for lasting recovery. Need help? Call Hickory's 24/7 admissions team today.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now, I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Oh, I don't see where you got your degree.
I don't have one. I went another route.
All right. I guess tell me a bit about your experience.
Now, from KFDX3, Texoma's Weather Authority, with Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling.
Tell me those winds are going to die down soon, because that was a crazy
Those winds are
windy
going to
day.
die down soon.
Yay. Thank
Yes.
you. I love good news.
Double high five. I think it's the first time I've done a high five on TV since Lauren. All right, taking a look outside right now on the Seymour Tower Cam. Current temperature is 69 degrees. We have a west-southwest wind averaging 16 miles per hour. Today's high was 76 degrees, so we went down as 22 degrees above our average of 54. And the low this morning was 58 degrees. That was 28 degrees above our average of 30. Also, 37/100ths of an inch of rain recorded at Shepherd Air Force Base earlier on today. It was that little severe thunderstorm that did come through the area into the central portions of Texoma. I haven't heard a lot of damage reports, but it had the chance for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's why that warning was issued. You see high 50s to low 60s here for tomorrow afternoon in the northern portions of Texoma. So, yeah, definitely a bit cooler here as we go into tomorrow. More mid-60s in the central portions. You get down to the southern portions, you get some high 60s there for Jacksboro, Graham, and Throckmorton, all up to around 68 to 69 degrees. As we go into tomorrow, the winds are going to continue to die down overnight tonight, so a weaker wind here as we go into the day for tomorrow. Now showing 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Very light west wind there at that point. Then we go into tomorrow evening. So not too bad here even by 6 o'clock. Winds are starting to pick up out of the north, but this cold front starting to make its way into the area. But the stronger winds are still up by the panhandle at that point. And if you got plans in the late evening hours, 8 to 9 o'clock, north winds are going to be picking up there. Some gusts up around 30, maybe 35, or even 40 miles per hour in spots behind this front. So it is going to get pretty windy tomorrow evening. A little bit of a northerly breeze here as we go into the day on Saturday. For our high temperatures, we're going to be a little bit cooler for the weekend, back down to 54 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. Then we do warm back up to 67 by Tuesday, and then we even out pretty close or just above average here as we go throughout the rest of next week. High 50s to low 60s, and that continues into the following weekend. Satellite radar is pretty quiet for us. Clear skies, cloud cover mostly down to the southeast away from us here in Texoma. I'm going to show you the water vapor imagery. I'll show you two things here first. Here's the storm system that just came through and gave us some of those storms early on this morning. And here's the next one. Remember with the water vapor imagery, the areas in the blue and the white is showing more moisture. The areas in the yellow are showing that dry air. So here's the storm system. There's moisture to the north, moisture well down to the southeast, dry air going right through here in Texoma. So when this front comes through tomorrow, we're not going to be seeing much of a rain chance with it. We go into tomorrow afternoon, you'll see showers are forming well down to the southeast away from us. We'll see a little bit of clouds pop up as the front starts to hit, but then you see also snow further to the northwest across the Panhandle region into southwestern Kansas. Since we're in that dry slot, it is clear skies here as we go into this weekend. Not looking for much of a rain chance there. It should be a pretty nice weekend. It's not too bad when it's 54 degrees and it's still sunny outside. Put on a sweater. I know Tobin's excited about it. He already mentioned it to me earlier on today. So for tonight, 40 degrees, clear and cool with a variable wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, high 64 degrees. That evening front comes through. We'll see winds shift to the north, getting up to around 20 miles per hour, likely gusting as high as 30 to 40 in the evening. Here's a 7-day forecast. We're cooler here for the weekend, warming back up into the 60s, and we're just a bit above average throughout next week.
Temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts.
How to safely build a fire. And how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait, reach out.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
KFDX 3, Texoma's Weather Authority, with Chief. You watching KFDX 3 News.
Pop that plays music and other unique tech finds from CES 2026. Rich DeMiro takes a look at even more gadgets in today's Rich on Tech.
One of my favorite parts about CES is just how much there is to see. This show is massive, with thousands of exhibitors spread across millions of square feet. There is no way to see it all, but it sure is fun to try. With thousands of exhibitors, CES 2026 in Las Vegas is like a massive tech treasure hunt spread across an entire city.
You better wear comfortable shoes. You better not value your sleep cycles that much. If you're on any kind of diet, this is not the week for it. It's a lot.
I'm always on the lookout for unique new gadgets. These Camelo glasses tint with the touch of a finger. Change the level depending on the sunlight.
So when it's really bright and sunny, you just